Roy, let's get to your stock pick.
So when the world gets so complicated with all of this AI stuff and everything, I go very basic. Back to Bidcorp. I think that's a stock that's sold off quite considerably. It's very ignored, but it consistently churns out earnings. And what they do is they deal in the trend in out-of-home eating. And that tends to be a big thing when economies are doing relatively well, or where culturally it's a thing that people do. So in the countries where they are present, in New Zealand, in Australia, in both East and West Europe and the UK, there is a trend for all of this growing. In addition, they're not entirely dependent purely on the top line expansion. Management's been very astute to get margin expansion from the operations just by value adding some of the commodities that they produce and that they distribute. So this is a business that banks for you 10 to 12% earnings growth. It's a complete rand hedge. There's only about 5% of earnings from SA. Very lazy balance sheet, which gives them the opportunity to do a lot of other things outside of their pure operations. Very well run. So yeah, my pick today is Bidcorp.
All right. What are you betting on today, JP?
So tonight, Zenate, it's an Italian company, Lottomatica. And Lottomatica is also relatively simple. They do betting, gambling.
Oh.
They are the biggest provider of betting, sports betting and gambling in Italy. So, I mean, South Africans have really gotten a taste for gambling the last few years. It's absolutely exploded here, whether the online casino games or the sports betting. And more or less the same in Italy. So buying into the dominant provider with the biggest market share in both these forms of gambling, I think is a reasonable idea. The shares aren't too expensive. The company was listed just over a year ago by a private equity, Apollo, and they are still selling down a bit. That has kept the share price a little bit under a dampener for the first year or so. But as they sell down, I think people are realizing that Lottomatica is a very nice business. As the free float increases, it also gets included in some indices. So the ETF start to buy the shares. And the Italians also have got a taste for sports betting and for online casino games. So that benefits Lottomatica.
And I've got a taste for pasta. Thank you very much.
There you go.
And I'll use Bidcorp's products as well. Thank you so much for your time and for your analysis today, gents. Much appreciated. That is all for tonight's Stock Watcher. Thanks to our guest, Jean Pierre Verster from Protea Capital Management and Roy Mutooni from Sanlam Investments. Up next, The Close. Stay watching.
Thank you.